I'm Rebecca Velasquez. I'm a holistic psychotherapist. I'm so excited to join you today. Today I'm going to talk about meditating with your children, whether it be young children as young as baby up and through elementary school. So the interesting thing about meditating with children, one myth that people have is I can't meditate with my children because they don't stay still. But really, if you think about children, they're not wired to stay still. They're wired for movement. And actually, if they are sitting still for very long periods of time meditating, then I would probably be concerned. So one thing about meditation is that we're really meditating for ourselves and we're modeling this practice for our children. We're holding the space for them. So I think it was the Dalai Lama that said if every person learned to meditate at the age of 8, world violence would be ceased in one generation. So this is a really important practice, not only for our children, for future generations, and even our ancestors, actually. So I want to talk just a little bit about what that means to meditate with our children. So when I first started meditating with my children, I had newborns. I've been meditating for many years, but when I first started to do it with my children, they were babies. And I had newborns, babies, and I was so tired. So I said to myself, you know what, I need to meditate. I was struggling with my own practice. And so basically I baby-proofed the room and I set a timer for even just 7 minutes. And you know what, I allowed myself that time to just meditate for myself. So when I had babies, it was more about my own practice. I would hold the space, for them, but really it was just about keeping, the area safe so that I could just let go and meditate. And that was really important for me and for all new mothers especially, just to be able to have that time. So a big barrier is my child going to be safe while I step away? And I had to remind myself that, you know what, children are not going to die of hunger in 7 minutes, that whatever needs to happen, it's okay, that, you know what, I can take this break. So then as children start to get older, things are also going to start to shift. So it becomes less about, just baby-proofing the room and more about how can I actually hold the space for them. So I want to show you guys a couple things that you can do in your space. So as you start to have, I would say toddlers, maybe 2 and older, one thing that's really great is engaging your children's senses. So children are very attuned to sound. So if you're trying to get your, toddler or child to do something, singing is one way to be able to get them to do it. You can sing a cleanup song. So what we do and what I discovered is I created a meditation song for them that we sing. It's just a 1-minute song, just to be able to get them into the room. And as I said, children really respond a lot to sound and song. So that's something that I've done. And one thing that you're doing is you're holding the space, as I said. So one way you can do that is small children are not going to sit down. I've had my children pull my hair, I've had them sit on top of me, all different kinds of things. And that's just par for the course. That's what's going to happen. So when we go in with the expectation that we have small children and they're gonna sit down on a cushion, that's not really gonna happen. And we have to realize that. And it becomes more about our own process and learning how are we, in just that short amount of time of meditation, how are we responding to our children? And there's such a metaphor happening because as we sit to meditate, so many people say to me, Rebecca, I can't meditate because I can't stop my mind from wandering. But really, we can meditate for years and we can't stop our mind. The mind is going to create thoughts. That's just what it does. But it's about learning to be able to observe our thoughts and respond in a new way and be able to witness them. So our children are going to model that for us. They're really extensions of ourself. So they're going to act like our mind. They're going to be running around, and some days they're going to want to meditate and be like, yes, it's great, we're going to meditate. And other days they're not going to want to meditate. They're going to hate meditation. But that's really the experience that we have as well. Some days I want to meditate, and some days I really don't want to meditate. So it's less about, actually their experience, and it's more about how we're responding. So that's just an important note. Some things you can do are this is a zafu I had, and I had it recovered. So this is just fun if you have like 3 and 4-year-olds, you can recover a zafu. And you know what, as I said, you're holding the space. I love like furry things with texture. So this is just a sheepskin rug. This is just a cozy element you can have in your space. Another thing you can do is a lavender candle. So as I said, engaging children's senses. Lavender is very relaxing. I'm a huge fan of it. And so we'll do the song, we'll come in, I'll light a candle, and what we do is we'll go around, and I have a 9 and a 5-year-old. So it's a different experience for the 9-year-old to sit than the 5-year-old. And we'll sit and we'll just say one thing that we're grateful for. And then I will set a timer, and I love the Enzo Clock Pearl timer. This is an old thing, but you can definitely get a meditation timer online. And what's really cool about that with children is they see that there's a beginning and an end. It's not just when I want to be done with meditation. Children like to put the timer on. And what I do when I have older children, as I said, you know, when I had babies, I'd meditate for 7 minutes, but that was kind of my practice for a little bit of time. But, you know, I have re-engaged my own practice for many years now. And what I'll do with my children is I will set the timer for 50 seconds because that's really what they can handle is, you know what, sitting still for about that amount of time. Also, in the morning, we'll do it too. So we'll do a morning and an evening. And in the morning, it's really a nice way to sandwich the day in between 2 spaces of silence for your child. So in the morning, we'll read some passages. This happens to be a children's devotional. I've struggled to find some spiritual readings for children. This happens to be a Christian one that might not jive for you. I think there's a resource called the Virtues Project, which has affirmations. And it's just, you know, a reading to start the day. That's a really nice thing to do. So I think that's all I wanted to share today, and I am on Facebook and I'm on Instagram and YouTube, and Rebecca Velasquez Therapy. Thank you so much. Take care.